In August 2014, NASCAR was looking to finalize their 2015 rules package. The 2014 rules package produced record-breaking speeds in qualifying, but in races, dirty air was a common complaint among drivers. Passing was difficult, especially on the intermediate tracks that were such a large part of the NASCAR schedule. In only the second year of NASCAR's Gen 6 car, dirty air kept cars from easily passing, and races were decided by track position. A test session was scheduled for August 18th, one day after the Cup race at Michigan. 10 teams would stay at the track to test improvements that engineers thought would reduce the impact of dirty air. NASCAR had two different rules packages to try. One had increased downforce, consisting of a 9-inch rear spoiler, dive planes on the nose of the car, which were said to add 150 pounds of downforce, and three different engine power levels set by restrictor plates: 850 horsepower, 800, and 750 horsepower. At the opposite spectrum, teams would also test a low downforce package, one that was said to reduce downforce by 30%. Gene Stephanician, Vice President of Innovation and Racing Development for NASCAR, said, quote, "We have a prime rules package and also will be doing a low downforce package because some of the drivers have been very vocal. They think low downforce is a solution. So we're going to try one of those." For the Cup race at Michigan that weekend, Jeff Gordon won the pole at an average qualifying speed of 206.5 miles per hour, the fastest qualifying lap in the past 35 years. Gordon won the race a day later. The Monday morning test session began at 9 a.m. The test was a series of 15-lap simulated races. In the first segment, cars were lined up single file and given the green flag. Danica Patrick led the entire way. The second segment saw cars start double file. Early in the session, Patrick brushed the wall but suffered minor damage. The cars restarted, but on acceleration, Matt Kenseth missed a shift and blew an engine, bringing out a caution again. It was reported by Bob Dillner that the style of racing was not much different than the current rules package, and the cars were, quote, separated in single file by lap 2 in each heat. Honestly, the drivers really didn't like it so much. Casey Kane said, quote, "We got in pack with new tires. It went green, and I followed a car into turn 1, and my front end would not turn getting into the corner." Denny Hamlin tweeted, 2015 Aero Test was a bit disappointing, right up until the end. We may have found something that actually moves the needle for passing. Finally, around 6:30 in the evening, NASCAR tried the low downforce package. Using the standard 850 horsepower engine, teams removed the radiator pan under the cars and switched to a 3.5-inch rear spoiler with softer tires. The results were said to be incredible. Those who were there that day described it as, quote, "the best race I ever saw," and cars ran side by side, 3 rows deep, with slide jobs entering the corners. Watching from the infield as his crew made adjustments, Denny Hamlin said, quote, "It was like the most amazing 9-car race for the first couple of laps. It was crazy to see them out there with their hands full. We have star drivers in this sport for a reason, because they're the best drivers." He contrasted it to the dirty air, track position style of racing from 2014, saying, quote, "I felt like we were heading in a direction where you just put anybody up front at the end of these races, and any car, mediocre to a decent car, they were going to win the race. Now I believe your star drivers are going to show back up again with this package." Those who were in attendance were unanimous in the belief that the high horsepower, low downforce package produced a style of racing that was incredibly exciting. Drivers could run side by side and find lanes that suited their car's handling. The high speeds and low downforce meant higher speeds on the straightaways and lower speeds in the corners. There was 40 miles per hour difference between top speed and the corners. At the end of the session, Paul Menard was leading the pack. His crew chief Slugger Labby said it was cool and looked promising, but also pointed out the tremendous speeds their cars reached at the end of the straightaways, 223.5 miles per hour. Other engineers said their cars went 226 miles per hour. In the race a day before, cars reached speeds around 215. Despite the praise for the Michigan test, NASCAR continued with their plans for lower horsepower. This came as a relief for Toyota, which that same week admitted they were perhaps 50 horsepower less than Chevrolet engines. NASCAR's 2015 rules reduced engines to 725 horsepower using a tapered spacer. For 2016, NASCAR reduced downforce levels but kept horsepower at the 2015 level. The August 2014 test has taken on a mythical level for NASCAR fans. A brief, short segment of a test as the sun was getting low in the Michigan sky. If video of the test was ever taken, it remains unreleased.